Hi, welcome to IELTS Speaking Mock Test. My name is Abdulmalik and I'm your today's Speaking Mock Test examiner. What's your full name?
My full name is Jacksilika Horliman.
Okay. All right, so Horliman, let's start. Can you tell me about what do you do? Do you work or are you a student?
Currently, I do both. I am pursuing business administration at Webster University. It's, if I'm not mistaken, the only American college here in Tashkent. And at the same time, I have a part-time job. I work as a teacher in an educational center.
All right, let's talk about your studies. What do you study there?
Different subjects. Since my major is BA, which is business administration, I am mostly focusing on subjects like entrepreneurship, business management, quality management, marketing, and brand naming, things like that.
Okay, do you like what you study?
Of course I do. I love almost all the subjects that are core subjects, meaning that they are related to my own field. And I think I liked marketing and entrepreneurship the most. They were really interesting.
All right, let's talk about carrying things. Well, what do you do if your item is heavy?
Honestly, it's never a problem because I always carry a huge purse with me. So everything fits there.
Great, so you're a strong girl.
Yeah.
All right, and when you go out, what do you do? What do you carry usually with you?
Basic things like phone, money, lip balm. I can't imagine a day without it. Also water and some snacks. And my laptop if I go to work.
Great. Is there any difference between the things you carry in the evening and in the morning?
Honestly, no, because like I live home early in the morning and I come back like late at night. So I don't get to go home during the day. So whatever I carry in the morning is the same thing I carry in the evening.
Great. Let's talk about crowded places. When was the last time you were in a crowded place?
Probably when I went to work by underground. It was like a week or two ago. I had no money for taxi, to be honest, and I had to travel by underground. And I mean, I was shocked because it has been so long. I haven't been in the metro. And when I went there, I was so disappointed, but I had to. So I think that was the last time because there were a lot of people and I was quite surprised to see them.
Okay. And how about advertisements? How do you feel about advertisements generally?
Quite opposite. I mean, since I study business, that's a part of my job. I think a part of what I study. So I'm quite interested in it because from a business perspective, that's a crucial part of every business and every company and organization. From an ordinary person perspective, still fine. I think that they should be there.
Okay. What are the different places where we see advertisements?
TV, radio, social media. I think these three are the major ones. Regarding today, I think social media would be the most, popular one regarding advertisements, because I think that's the major, platform where advertisement is super popular. And that's how we can, spread the information faster and get to, reach more people.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to move on to part 2, where I will give you a topic for you to describe. And you have 1 minute to take your notes. You have to speak 1 to 2 minutes, and don't worry if I stop you.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you have your paper and pencil to take notes, and I want you to describe a person who you think wears unusual clothes. All right, time's up. Ready?
Yeah. So
you can start now, please.
Okay. Honestly, I don't have a lot of people in my surrounding who wear fashionable clothes or something unusual, but I do have one friend who's very close to me who, it's not like she wears something unusual, but I would say something very fashionable. So that's the reason I consider that very unusual. So I've known that person for quite for like I think, more than 5 years. And we've been very good friends with her, and we attended the same educational center back then, and we're good friends, and we always shared opinions and ideas, and, we were always on the same wavelengths. So that helped us to, have this huge, strong bonds. Nowadays, she works in a marketing department in a certain company. No, I don't know the name of it. And every day she, has this OTTD or something that is fashionable on Instagram. It's called like her daily outfit. It has sort of a short abbreviation, and she shoots that on her Instagram. She always wears something different that a lot of people cannot find, and she usually orders clothes from abroad, and it helps her to stand out in a crowd. She wears different color patterns. She can wear one day plain clothes, another day patterned one, and you never know what to expect, from her today's outfit. And the reason I consider that super stylish is because it is not very expensive, but it looks so luxurious, as if she spent, millions on it. So I love the way she dresses, and sometimes I even ask her advice of whether my outfit is good, and, I have a special day to go to party, to go to, meeting or something, and she always helps me with that. So I consider her as someone who really dresses nice and unusual.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Well, we've been talking about a person who wears unusual clothes, and I'd like to carry on by asking you a few more general questions related to that. Well, do most people in your country prefer to buy clothes online or at the store?
Specifically in my country, I think even though online shopping has, become such a huge and popular thing and around the world, still I think offline shopping is much more popular in my country, because I believe that because of the mindset we have here, we don't trust a lot of things that we see online, and that includes shopping, and a lot of people, especially adults, they don't purchase things online because they want to see the fabric, whether it suits them or not, and they want to really touch it, they want to see it, they want to smell it, whatever. So they love this offline shopping more than online one.
All right. Now, do you think people would use clothing to show their identity?
To some extent, probably yes, but I think it has something to do with age, because teenagers specifically, because they have they are at the age where emotions are intense, they want to stand out, they want to be different from others, and clothing is something that that helps them to stand out, actually. And I think they use it. They may wear something really vivid, something really bright, or something really dark and dull. Some people prefer baggy clothes, or some people prefer very tight clothes. So by, fashion thing, or by something they wear, they try to show their personality probably, or the way they feel inside. So I think it has to do with age, because I don't believe adults do it, or like very young kids do it. So yeah.
All right. Do you think young people know more about fashion and are better at dressing up than elderly people?
That would sound weird and probably like a stereotype, but I believe that young people are, naturally inclined to know more about fashion than adults, especially because in the past, those people who are adults now were like kids one day, and they didn't have, as broad fashionable something that we have today. So I believe that with all the advancements, all the, fashion shows we have, all the different types of clothing that are being, fabricated, I think a lot of teenagers and young people quite understand more than adults do.
What about you? Do you consider yourself as, fashionable or fashion conscious person?
Not very much, but again, it depends on, if I compared myself with what I was like a couple years ago, like 3-4 years ago, definitely there is a huge improvement regarding my style, regarding the way I dress. Because in the past, I would prefer something that wouldn't suit the way I look. Like I would be, for example, slim and prefer something really huge that would just make me large, But nowadays, because I scroll Instagram and I look and I follow some different people on Instagram who are very fashion conscious, I kind of have this understanding of fashion, but I don't believe it's like I cannot call myself fashionable, but I do understand something about it nowadays.
You just mentioned the factors that made you more fashionable, and do you think the other young people around you have the same factors that affect them towards having a fashionable view?
Of course. And one of the major ones would probably be other people, because again, of the development of social media, a lot of people follow different, celebrities there, and they consider them as idols, as someone they really look up to. And those people usually dress up nice because we know when you're in a public eye, you have to look cool. So they try to copy their styles or try to copy the way they dress, even the color pattern or everything. I don't know, the way the clothing is done, the way, even if it doesn't suit that specific boy or girl, they try to, still have the same fashion that those people have. So I think, people affect people basically.
What do you think about the opposite? What makes people go out of fashion?
Probably age. I mean, that's something basic.
Let's talk about young people then.
Okay. Probably growth, because I think when teenagers or young people grow up, they tend to change their styles. For example, if a 5-year-old or 10-year-old kid wears like shorts and I don't know, something basic, a t-shirt and something like red or pink, when they grow up, obviously they try to opt for something, less vivid, less bright. I think even though it sounds like a stereotype, but that's what I personally believe, because that's what I see every day, that people change and young people also change when they grow up, basically.
All right. That's the end of this speaking test. Thank you very much, Leman.
Thank you too.
Okay. Horliman, generally speaking, that was very impressive performance. I mean, I was really impressed by how fluent you are in your speech. So let's chunk it down to details and talk about some positives and negatives of your speech. As for part 1, let's go with the parts. It went very well. Everything was almost flawless. However, sometimes the way that you fluently speak, or maybe the pace or speed of your speech, sometimes makes some of the words sound a little unclear or a little wrongly. For example, you use the verb leave. However, because of the speed, it sounded live. So because slight difference in pronunciation. However, your pronunciation is very, again, great. I mean, no problems, but because of the speed, I believe. And I like that the way that in part 1 also and part 3 also, you produce direct answers without unnecessarily, paraphrasing the beginning of the question, taking the time. So you're just directly answering TV and stuff to the questions. Nice. There were a couple of cases in part 1 when you've made occasional pauses, which probably attracted a little bit of attention from the examiner's side. So that could be the part where examiners could think whether you have the pause for, content or the language. And, it's hard, it's dangerous part of your speaking. However, generally part 1 was great. As we move on to part 2, great vocabulary. We have the same wavelength and other great words that you used in part 2. And you made those pauses again sometimes, those small pauses between the chunks, like every other words. It was just for a moment though, for like 2 or 3 seconds. However, I don't think it affects your score greatly. Generally, great pronunciation, and I love the way that you stress some of the words and you take control of your, intonation overall. That is done at a professional level. Great job. And the speech time was also great. Moving on to part 3, there were 2 words, I believe, that were a little bit of you need to focus on the way to correct pronunciation there. It was fabric. I think, is that fabric? Yeah, stress went out. So I think it's fabric. And there was a word suit, right?
Yeah.
The sound I, the E sound was a little bit more stressed. Suit. I think suit. So that's how it should sound. But I can praise the way that you're using your vocabulary and how much fluent and coherent you are in your speech. The words like dull, vivid, baggy, tight, and everything was on top, and it was used exactly at the moment when it was needed. There was one part, though, I believe, that you had to think about making it. I think you felt that you should remember this. You said, it's not as broad fashionable something as we.
Yeah.
So that was the part when you could improve your language a little bit. Maybe you could say something like people don't have as broad, let's say, options, variety in fashion as we have now, or something like that. So you needed a little bit of words or language there. It was visible. So I would score, despite some of the words that you probably mispronounced sometimes, but they were not intentional, so they didn't attract attention too much. So 9 for your pronunciation. And as we go for your fluency and coherence, I would still, although part 3 was really coherent and fluent, so I think still I can give you 9 from fluency and coherence. As for lexical resource, great vocabulary, 9, but only for grammar, range, and accuracy because of that part in part 3 where you couldn't make up your sentence. I think I would not really be generous here, and I would keep it down to 8. Overall, it is an impressive overall 8.5, a little short of a 9 band score. Yeah, generally, well done. Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.